Episode 16, The Broadcast. The tunnel spat them out behind a mechanic's yard, covered in filth and fear. The rising sun bathed Oshodi in hazy gold, but it brought no comfort. Saad clutched the tin box to her chest as they ducked into the chaos of the early morning crowd. Chuka spotted the red bus just as it began pulling away. "Run!" he shouted. They sprinted, weaving through honking kick drivers and yum hawkers. Chuka banged on the back door. The conductor, confused but amused, swung it open. They tumbled in, breathless and grimy. As the bus lurched forward, Saad pressed her forehead to the window. Behind them, the safe house was nowhere in sight, just rows of buildings, all indifferent. She thought of Kofo, of her gun, of that final gunshot. She knew, Chuka said quietly. She knew it was a one-way mission. The road to Umuahio was long and winding. They spoke little. Chuka kept his hand on the tin box as if it were a heartbeat. When they reached the town, they made their way to an old community center on the outskirts, a place Kofo had mentioned only once. Inside, they found an abandoned radio station. Dust coated the equipment. One wall was papered with outdated political posters, but the transmitter, old and crackling, still worked. Chuka got to work while Saad tested her voice, raw from smoke and sorrow. "We'll go live in 15 minutes, Chuka said. Saad nodded, then looked out the broken window. A small group had already gathered, drawn by the sound of power flickering to life. Word traveled fast in places like this. At exactly 7 a.m., the signal went live. Chuka adjusted the frequency and gave a thumbs up. Saad stepped to the microphone, her hands trembling. "This is Saad Adebayo," she began, voice quiet but clear. "You don't know me, but you know men like Alhaji Kalu. You've lived beneath their greed, buried your loved ones in their silence." She told the whole story, from Mama's quiet resilience to the discovery of the cassette, to the betrayal that forced them into hiding. When she played the recording, the room went still. Even outside, the murmurs faded. Voices crackled on radios in markets and barbershops. Phones began ringing. A crowd swelled outside the building: schoolteachers, taxi drivers, welders, mothers. Saad finished, tears streaming. "We may be poor, but we are not without power. Truth is our weapon." A beat of silence. Then the room exploded in cheers. Outside, people clapped, shouted, lifted their hands. But from the far corner of the station, Chuka suddenly stiffened. He saw them through the window, to black SUVs pulling up fast. "They found us," he whispered. Saad turned, wiping her face. "We knew they would." He grabbed the tin box. "One last trick," he said. He darted to the back of the station and slid the tape into a satellite relay. Failsafe Kofo had shown in. The signal would keep bouncing, even if the source was destroyed. A pounding at the front door, like